I'm saying this not to scare you, but because I've seen too many people over 50 live in pain that could have been prevented. People who trusted healthy foods that were actually fueling their inflammation every single day. I'm Dr. James Carter. I've been a physician for more than 25 years. And what I'm about to tell you may go against everything you've been taught about eating right. But if your joints ache in the morning, if your fingers swell or your knees crack with every step, you deserve to know the truth. Because in my experience, arthritis pain isn't just about age. It's about what's on your plate. Let me start with something. I tell every patient who walks into my office, inflammation is the root of arthritis. Not the years, not the weather, not bad luck. Inflammation. Your immune system sees something it doesn't like, and it attacks. That attack might start in your gut, but it ends in your joints. So, what are you putting in your body that's whispering to your immune system? Attack? Most people have no idea that certain everyday foods are quietly destroying their joint cartilage day after day. And the worst part is many of these foods are promoted as healthy. So let's expose them one by one. The first food you must stop eating is sugar in all its sneaky forms. I know you've heard sugar is bad. But when you have arthritis, sugar isn't just bad, it's poison. Every spoonful triggers a surge of cytokines, the inflammatory messengers that make your joints throb. I had a patient, Martha, 63 years old, who drank a glass of orange juice every morning, thinking she was making a healthy choice. Her knees were swollen, she could barely climb stairs. When I showed her that one glass had as much sugar as a can of soda, she was shocked. She stopped the juice, replaced it with water and lemon, and within 3 weeks her stiffness in the morning dropped by half. Sugar hides everywhere: ketchup, salad dressing, yogurt, even so-called healthy granola bars. The next time you shop, read the label. If it ends in O's, glucose, fructose, sucrose, your joints don't want it. The second food that quietly wrecks your joints: refined carbs. White bread, pasta, crackers, and pastries. They act like sugar in disguise. The moment they hit your bloodstream, they spike insulin and trigger inflammation. Your cartilage cells respond like they're under attack, producing enzymes that literally eat away at joint tissue. I know bread feels comforting. It smells like childhood. It feels safe. But I've watched people limp in with pain and walk out pain-free. After giving up their daily toast and switching to sprouted grains or quinoa, you don't have to starve, you just have to stop feeding the fire. Third, and this one surprises most people, vegetable oils. Yes, the bottles that say heart healthy: corn oil, soybean oil, canola oil, sunflower oil. These oils are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids. The body needs a balance between omega-3 south, which calm inflammation, and omega-6 south, which spark it. But the modern diet is so flooded with omega-6 south that it's like dumping gasoline on the immune system. Your joints become the battlefield. You cook eggs in canola oil, you dress your salad with vegetable oil, and then you wonder why your knees are screaming. Switch to olive oil or avocado oil. Your body will thank you in ways you can feel within weeks. The fourth food is something you might eat every day without realizing the damage: processed meats. Bacon, sausage, hot dogs, deli slices. These are filled with nitrates, advanced glycation end products, preservatives that trigger oxidative, stress-dying chemical explosions inside your joints. I once had a patient, a retired police officer, who loved his morning bacon. His fingers were so swollen he couldn't make a fist. We cut out all processed meats for a month. The pain went down, and his hands looked like they belonged to a different person. He still eats meat, but now it's grass-fed, unprocessed, and he cooks it himself. Now, number 5. This one breaks a lot of hearts. Dairy. For some people, dairy is a silent enemy. Casein, a protein in milk, can irritate the immune system, especially if your gut barrier is weak, which it often is after 50. I'm not saying everyone must quit dairy, but if your joints ache, try 2 weeks without it. Replace milk with almond or oat milk. Skip the cheese, and watch what happens. I've seen patients' stiffness vanish within days. The science is clear. In sensitive people, dairy increases inflammatory markers. The body sees it as an invader, and your joints pay the price. The sixth food to avoid might sound healthy, but it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Nightshade vegetables. Tomatoes, potatoes, eggplants, and peppers. They contain solanine, a compound that can trigger inflammation in people with arthritis. Not everyone reacts, but if you wake up stiff and you eat tomato sauce or roasted peppers often, do an experiment. Cut them out for 30 days. I had a woman in her 70s who swore she couldn't garden anymore because her hands hurt too much. We discovered she was eating tomato soup 3 times a week. After 1 month without nightshades, she was back pulling weeds and smiling in her yard. And finally, the one most people never think about: alcohol, especially beer. Beer contains purines, which raise uric acid levels, leading to joint pain and gout-like symptoms. Alcohol also dehydrates the body and disrupts the gut barrier, making it easier for inflammatory molecules to leak into the bloodstream. You don't have to quit entirely, but if your joints ache, take a break. 2 weeks without alcohol can reveal a lot about how much your body has been struggling in silence. Now, you might be thinking, so what can I eat, doctor? And I get it. It feels like I've just taken away half your diet. But here's the hopeful truth. When you remove these 7 foods, your body starts healing itself almost immediately. Within days, inflammation markers drop. Within weeks, your morning stiffness fades. Within months, you might forget what pain felt like. I've seen it hundreds of times. The real secret isn't about taking another pill or injection. It's about giving your immune system a chance to calm down. Imagine your body like a small town where every meal is a message. Some foods whisper peace, others shout war. Every time you eat salmon, leafy greens, olive oil, turmeric, garlic, ginger are sending the message: stand down, heal. Every time you reach for sugar, processed oils, or bacon, you're lighting another flare that says, attack. It's that simple and that powerful. Let's talk about why these 7 foods cause so much damage beyond just inflammation. Arthritis isn't just in your joints, it's systemic. It's a reflection of chronic inflammation throughout your body, in your gut, your blood vessels, even your brain. That's why people with arthritis often feel tired, foggy, or depressed. Their immune system is constantly at war. And what feeds that war? The same toxic ingredients that line grocery store shelves. Sugar disrupts your gut microbiome, killing off beneficial bacteria and allowing harmful ones to thrive. Processed oils make your cell membranes rigid so your immune cells can't communicate properly. Refined carbs spike your blood sugar, which leads to more insulin, more fat storage, and more inflammation. Processed meats and dairy add to the toxic load. It's not just about the joints, it's about restoring balance inside the entire body. There's something else most people don't realize. Pain is often your body's way of begging you to change something. When you remove the triggers, pain becomes your compass, guiding you back to health. I've seen men and women in their 60s throw away their painkillers, not because of some miracle drug, but because they stopped eating what was hurting them. You don't need perfection, you need awareness. And look, I know how it feels to be overwhelmed by dietary advice. Every headline says something different. 1 week eggs are bad, the next week they're a superfood. One doctor says eat more plants, another says go keto. Oh, here's my rule of thumb, and it's the same one I use for myself. If it's made by nature, eat it. If it's made in a factory, think twice. Arthritis thrives on artificiality. Healing thrives on simplicity. Now, I'm not here to scare you, but to wake you up. The food industry doesn't care about your knees or your fingers. They care about shelf life and profit margins. That's why they bury sugar under 30 different names and push vegetable oil as healthy when it's chemically extracted with solvents. That's why processed meats still line breakfast menus, even though we've known for decades. They increase inflammation and cancer risk. The truth is there, but it's quiet. It's drowned out by marketing noise. But here's the good news. Your body listens louder than any advertisement. Within days of changing what you eat, it begins to repair. The inflammation starts to fade. Cartilage cells start receiving nutrients again, and your gut begins to heal. Pain isn't permanent. It's feedback. And that's what I want every person over 50 to understand. If you've been told that arthritis is inevitable, that it's just a part of aging, I'm here to tell you that's a lie. I've seen patients in their 70s reverse years of stiffness simply by changing their diet. They didn't need expensive supplements or risky surgeries. They just stopped feeding the fire. Your joints aren't broken, they're inflamed. And inflammation is reversible. So tonight when you open your refrigerator, take a hard look. That orange juice that claims no added sugar? Full of fructose. That heart-healthy margarine? Made from inflammatory oils. That lean deli meat? Loaded with preservatives? Every choice you make is either pulling you toward healing or pushing you deeper into pain. It's not about perfection, it's about direction.